Amelia Thornton had always walked like the world owed her space. At 25, daughter of Jonathan Thornton, the wealthiest ranch owner in Montana, she carried herself with the polished confidence of someone who had never lifted anything heavier than a designer handbag. People in town respected her father, but they avoided Amelia, too sharp-tongued, too proud, too quick to treat anyone beneath her name like they were invisible. Every morning, she woke to the smell of fresh coffee brewed by Mrs. Dawson, the elderly cook who had served the family long before Amelia could spell her own name. Yet Amelia never bothered to thank her. If the eggs were too runny, she sent them back. If the silverware didn't match, she scolded whoever set the table. The ranch hands hated working near the main house, especially when she stepped outside in her polished boots, barking orders like she owned the sun. One late summer afternoon, a black pickup truck rolled toward the ranch. A new staff member was arriving, Michael Reyes, 29, tall with a quiet presence, carrying a small duffel bag and wearing plain denim workwear that looked worn but clean. He had strong, scar-lined hands that hinted at a background filled with labor. No one knew much about him except that the ranch manager hired him after reading his impressive handyman resume. Amelia noticed him the moment he stepped out of the truck. She stood on the balcony, sipping iced tea, sunglasses covering eyes that held no warmth. "Another worker," she muttered. "Let's hope this one knows his place." Michael removed his hat respectfully when Mr. Thornton greeted him, but as he walked toward the servants' quarters, he crossed paths with Amelia. She didn't speak, just stared him down like a stray dog wandering into her territory. When he smiled politely and said, "Good afternoon," she didn't smile back. "Drop your boots before entering the main house," she said coldly. "I don't want dirt dragged around here. This isn't a barn." He nodded, still calm. "Yes, ma'am." Mrs. Dawson watched from the kitchen window and sighed. "Poor boy. He'll learn fast. She ain't kind to newcomers." Days passed. Michael worked hard, fixing fences, repairing plumbing, feeding horses, carrying heavy feed sacks without complaint. The other workers respected him. He didn't gossip, didn't brag, didn't ask for favors. But Amelia dismissed him like everyone else, sometimes ignoring him entirely, other times tossing instructions at him with no thank you. She would pass by and say things like, "You missed a spot," or "Next time fix it properly," even when the job was perfect. Michael never snapped back. He simply worked, but fate always waits for the right moment to humble the proud. It began quietly, Amelia waking up tired, coughing, feeling chills in August heat. She brushed it off as exhaustion from late-night parties. But then her breathing worsened. Her legs weakened. Meals went untouched. Eventually, she collapsed on the hallway floor late at night, body burning with fever. Doctors came. Tests were run. A rare viral infection, severe and draining. She could barely speak, barely move, trapped in her upstairs room, the same room where she had looked down on everyone all her life. At first, the staff worried, but that sympathy didn't last long. Memories of insults ran deeper than pity. Mr. Thornton hired full-time nurses, but they rotated out after days. None of them felt emotionally invested. Workers avoided the second floor. Some whispered outside, "She's finally getting what she gave. Maybe now she'll learn how it feels." Karma doesn't miss. For the first time, Amelia understood loneliness. She rang bells for water, but no one arrived immediately. She called for help and heard footsteps walk away. People were not cruel, just tired of caring for someone who never cared for them. Only one person knocked on her door consistently, Michael. He brought warm soup, fresh water, cool compresses for her forehead. He helped her sit upright when her arms shook too badly. He changed her bed sheets when the fever sweat soaked through. One night, as her breathing struggled and tears streamed down her face because she couldn't lift a glass to her lips, he held the cup gently and helped her drink. Why are you helping me?" she whispered, voice strained. He tucked the blanket around her shoulders. Because people deserve help when they're hurting, even the ones who hurt others. She turned her face away, ashamed. Days turned into weeks. Her illness slowly loosened its grip. She regained strength, able to stand without trembling. When she finally stepped outside again, pale and thin, the ranch workers stared like they were seeing a ghost. This time, she didn't walk with her chin high. She walked carefully, eyes scanning faces she never noticed before. The stable boy who always carried her luggage, the gardener she insulted last spring, the old cook who fed her since childhood. She approached Mrs. Dawson first. I never thanked you for all you've done for me. I'm so sorry for how I treated you." The old woman, shocked, wiped her hands on her apron before hugging her. One by one, she apologized to everyone. Some forgave quickly, some needed time, but all were stunned by the change. When she reached Michael, she paused longer than expected. "I treated you like dirt the day you arrived. You didn't owe me anything, yet you stayed. You cared when no one else did. I'm grateful. Truly." Michael looked at her gently. "Everyone deserves a second chance. You just needed yours." From that day on, Amelia changed. She woke early to help in the kitchen. She fed the horses, took time to learn workers' names, asked about their families. She walked among them, not above them. She and Michael spent more time together, fixing fences side by side, riding horses down long dusty trails, talking at sunset near the riverbank. She learned he had lost his parents young, worked across states to survive, never asking anything from life except peace. She admired his humility. He admired her transformation. Love grew, not rushed, not dramatic, but warm and steady. Months later, she stood in the same courtyard where she once spoke down to him, now wearing a simple white dress, holding his hands as they exchanged vows before family, friends, and ranch workers, people who once feared her now cheering loudly. Mr. Thornton wiped tears watching his daughter glow with joy no money could buy. Amelia looked at Michael with soft eyes and whispered, "You didn't just save me when I was sick. You saved the part of me I didn't know needed healing." He kissed her forehead. "The world is kinder when we choose to be." The wind swept across the Montana fields, and for the first time in her life, Amelia didn't stand above anyone. She stood among them, equal, loved, and finally whole.